My name is Litia and I'm from the beautiful island of Laos and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
My name is Casey, I'm from Tabua. We love Today FM in Tabua. Today FM rocks.
My name is Selina, I'm from Tawengavengamba. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Pula, my name is Carlo. I love listening to the music in Today FM, in Malak Island. Today FM rock.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In the news tonight, WYCLIFFE receives complaint against NFP leader. PDP has until February 28th to remedy breaching. And development projects rejected to protect coastline.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Smith.
The Fiji Independent Commission Against Corruption has confirmed receiving a complaint from the Fijian Elections Office against National Federation Party leader Professor Biman Prasad. FBC News understands the complaint was lodged by the Elections Office following comments allegedly made by the NFP leader that he will give all air terminal services shares to ATS staff if elected into government. This complaint is similar to the one which was lodged against Minister for Waterways Mahendra Reddy last year. WYCLIFFE is expected to investigate the matter. The People's Democratic Party has been given until February 28th to remedy a breach in their own constitution or face deregistration. This was directed by the Register of Political Parties after their 30-day suspension was lifted yesterday. Kelly Vavala reports.
The People's Democratic Party members breached 4 clauses from their own constitution following a board management meeting that was held in December last year.
The 7th of December meeting actually did not have the full quorum requirement, 5 management board members, and hence we found that the 7th of December meeting effectively under the constitution of PDP could not give sufficient authority to any person to take any actions.
Under the constitution, 5 members of the management board should have been present at the meeting. However, there were only 4, as former party leader Felix Anthony, who is not a board member, was also present at the meeting. Following Linda Tambuya's resignation from the party, PDP was required to temporarily fill the vacancy through a vice president, which they failed to do so.
The PDP constitution clearly specifies the procedure for replacing a president who may have resigned, and in the likelihood that a president does resign, a vice president is then voted by a majority in the management board to take up that position. And this was not done.
The PDP currently has 2 office holders, the General Secretary and Treasurer, and the Register of Political Parties says the absence of various office holders means the party has breached its own constitution. Office holders of all political parties are also advised to ensure they check all the requirements under the Political Parties Act and their party constitution. Kelly Vathala, FBC News.
Meanwhile, former PDP leader Linda Tambuya today called on the party to file a complaint with WYCLIFFE against the Register of Political Parties Mohammed Saneem. According to Tambuya, Saneem breached regulations when he released contents of the report on the meeting that was supposed to be confidential. Tambuya, who has joined SADELPA, said she made the statement as the former party leader.
PDP now, in this instance, submitted the confidential minutes in good faith to Saneem as part of an ongoing investigation into PDP. Why has it chosen to reveal it? Why now, Mr. Saneem? Is it a continuing victimization of Mr. Felix Anthony after the successful court ruling for all the workers in this country who triumphed over management? Mohammed Saneem has breached the code of confidentiality that he is bound by in an ongoing investigation and should be charged immediately for abusing his constitutional office.
Supervisor of Elections has responded to Tambuya's comment, saying the press conference was purely political and raises questions about her motives at asserting the findings of FEO towards other events concerning workers. Supervisor of Elections Mohammed Saneem says Tambuya must understand that the FEO's actions regarding the PDP were purely due to her own failures to follow the law and the PDP constitution. Saneem says this is clearly evident and not disputed by her. He says Tambuya fails in her understanding of the law and is misguided when she says that the SOE released minutes of the meeting held on December 7th. Saneem says he has the powers to make his findings public when exercising a public function, such as the current case of requiring the PDP to comply with the law. He says Tambuya has in fact revealed more about the December meeting and the role of Felix Anthony than was found by the SOE. A number of developers were turned down last year by the Environment Ministry, who wanted to cut down mangroves on the coastline to build resorts. This was revealed by the Permanent Secretary for Environment before the Parliamentary Public Accounts Committee this morning, who says the ministry will do what it takes to protect the environment. Rachel Nath reports.
Permanent Secretary Joshua Wycliffe says they thoroughly scrutinise all development plans and proposals in order to protect the environment.
For one moment, I will not deny and say that we do not need a Ramsar legislation to back up Ramsar. We do need it, and I will never tell this committee that what we have will always be adequate. That's why from the word go I said it's a living process.
An area of concern highlighted by the PS was the Ramsar sites and the implementation of new legislations.
If it comes to the development versus the environment, the government, in its year of COP23 presidency, has made it clear, and the ministry makes it very clear, that environment will be protected. And there are several instances we will and will continue to work where we will ensure that environment is protected.
Wycliffe says they are developing a legislation which will be submitted to the Cabinet by the end of the year.
Used to stop some of those degradation in the depth, but there is a need for a legislation specific to this particular
wetlands.
The legislation will focus on the protection of endangered species and the plant system under the wetland site of the designated Ramsar site. Rachel Nath, FBC News.
The local government ministry collected close to $29 million in rates from 13 municipal councils last year. Permanent Secretary Joshua Wycliffe says this is an improvement when compared to the previous year, indicating Fijians are making their payments when required. Rachel Nath with the story.
The new structure implemented within the municipal councils has led to an improvement in rate collections.
I said we've had shared services in terms of collection of rates. So there's sharper focus, exclusive resources being put in place just to collect, and that has helped. So municipal councils have targets now for collections, so that's a part of the performance KPI. So they're able to target, dollar value collections.
Despite the improvement in rate collections, the councils continue to submit their financial reports late.
There's a performance framework, there's a legislative framework as well, an expectation legislatively that all councils have their financial reporting done by a certain set date in a year, and they come through. So it's a three-pronged approach: the legislation, the performance, and also partnering with a neutral agency.
The ministry has introduced a new timeline for the council to submit their reports.
The finance unit is to ensure that all accounts up to date are presented to the Auditor General's office before 31st July to ensure that by March next year all accounts should be audited and presented to the relative organizations for the purpose of further action.
The Ministry of Local Government has made changes to the financial year, which now ends on the 31st of July. Rachel Nath, FBC News.
Still to come, 8-year jail term for manslaughter. And financial constraints delay Langi Langi housing projects. Stay with us.
Bula, keron mai singatoka, keron do tali taka na varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and do moi viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Kombinasyon mo tikola do tali taka na Radio Fiji 1 and do moi viti.
Kaya kuyazo silil tali, nagurara may nawamanyi, nandunga. Gitu tali taki yang gitu Venezuela pun nangguntur rongo, varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and do moi viti.
Na Radio Fiji 1 and do moi viti na bonga ni BNN.
The WYCLIFFE digital platform is now available to the people of Vanua-Levu. Through terrestrial and satellite networks, the WYCLIFFE signal is now available everywhere in Fiji. Eleanor Rangaivu reports.
Fijians in Vanua-Levu can now follow the news and stay up to date with developments across the country with the launching of the WYCLIFFE digital platform.
I'm 62 years old and it's new to me seeing this change in our village. We've been wanting to watch and know about what's happening around the world. And now it's a reality.
The WYCLIFFE digital platform provides 8 free-to-air channels in high-quality digital content from local broadcasters. It allows Fijians in the rural remote communities who have never had access to television services before to do so free of cost.
The difference between this and Sky Television is that for Sky you have to pay a monthly fee of about $50 after you install. For WYCLIFFE, you don't pay anything after installation.
The WYCLIFFE platform will also be used as a tool for disseminating information during times of disaster.
WYCLIFFE is very good because before the people cannot watch at interior, now they can watch everywhere, and it is good coverage and everything is nice.
Now we can see plenty channels and videos.
People are very was wanting from long time, see, and now it's very good, very, very happy. And I tell people, just enjoy, very good.
WYCLIFFE is a government initiative to provide free-to-air television to all Fijians and ensure everyone has access to information, technology and education. As part of this initiative, WYCLIFFE has established a village support fund to supply a set-top box and some other resources to villages that need it. Eleanor Rangaivu, FBC News.
A 39-year-old taxi driver who caused the death of an Nausori man in 2016 has been sentenced to 8 years imprisonment. Subramani Gounder was found guilty of 1 count of manslaughter by the Suva High Court last Friday. Sentencing Gounder today, Judge Justice Salesi Temo said the aggravating factors include reckless driving and refusing to pull over when requested by police. Gounder was drunk while driving and hit 35-year-old Sairusi Vunakeve, who was walking along Vuthi Road in Nausori. He has a non-parole sentence of 7 years. The completion of the second phase of the Langi Langi housing project has been delayed due to financial constraints. People's Community Network National Director Semiti Ngalawasa says the project was scheduled to be completed in the next 2 weeks. However, work is still underway. Sainani Boiler reports.
The People's Community Network is $700,000 short of completing the second phase of the Langi Langi project, and the 36 units are expected to be ready in the next 4 months.
We're hoping that